Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Good afternoon, good Saturday, wherever you are. Good day in general, in case it's not Saturday. And you're watching this after the fact. And if it's not a good day, may you be having the day you deserve. I forgot all about the intro screen. Who even cares? Doesn't even really matter. I'm here. We're all here. We're doing something. It's Saturday. It's time to have some fun watching court cases from the court gallery. And I'm your host, Lone Wolf Usul, and I'm presenting a couple of interesting sets of court cases for you today. But first, we're going to start in Bay County, Florida. Not with Judge Van, but Judge Brantley Clark Jr.
All right, sir, state your name.
Byron Hillum.
Mr. Hillum, you're before the court for your first appearance. I believe Mr. Peters is present to represent you today at this hearing. You've been charged with one count of failure to register as a sex offender. Judge Campbell has found there was probable cause for your arrest and issued the warrant. Sir, where do you live at?
680 Cypress Avenue. 680 Cypress
Sir?
Avenue.
Okay. All right. And how long have you lived in Bay County?
About most of my life.
Okay. And are you working?
Yes, sir.
Where do you work?
Shady's 38.
Okay. And let's see, prior record on Mr. Hillum.
Nothing since 17, and that was a failure to register also.
Okay. Mr. Peters?
Your Honor, he's a long-term resident. We're in constant contact with his mother. She will help make sure he appears at whatever court dates. And we don't think he's a risk of flight.
I guess the only issue I have, looks like this warrant was issued, well, it was issued in January.
I don't think there's any
No
basis indicating that he knew about it.
No, I understand that. I'm not saying he was, I just don't know why it took so long, but, and there's nothing since 2017. All right, Mr. Hillum, I'll recommend you to the pretrial release program. That'll get you out of jail and have to put up a bond. You need to stay with Mr. Peters. You probably need to register and do everything you're supposed to do. Your next court date's August. Is that right? August 5th? Right now, it's August 5th at 9 o'clock. Just stay in touch with Mr. Peters. Good luck to you.
All right, thank you.
Step to your right to the T. When the green light comes on, sign. Great X, ma'am. State your name.
Virginia Guarino.
How do you pronounce your last name?
Guarino.
Guarino. Ms. Guarino, you're before the court today for your first appearance. I'm going to appoint the Office of Public Defender to represent you. You've been charged with one count of battery on a law enforcement officer. That's a third-degree felony, punishable to 5 years in the Florida Department of Corrections and a $5,000 fine. I reviewed the probable cause affidavit. I'm gonna find there's probable cause for your arrest. Ma'am, where do you live?
I live in Southport,
How long have you-
Florida.
How long have you lived in Bay County?
31 years.
And are you employed?
I am on Social Security disability.
Is there a prior record on Ms. Guarino?
No, sir.
All right, ma'am, I'm gonna recommend you to the pretrial release program. That'll get you out of jail and that'll put up a bond. You're to have contact with the alleged victim in the case. Your next court date is July 1st at 9 o'clock. Good luck.
Thank you.
Step to your right to the T. When the green light comes on, sign.
Oh,
Next. Great X, ma'am. State your name.
Heather Keel.
Ms. Keel, you're before the court date for your first appearance. I'm going to appoint the Office of Public Defender to represent you. You've been charged with one count of petty theft. Right now, first appearance as a second-degree misdemeanor, since I don't have any other information except the warrant that Judge Campbell signed. That's punishment with 60 days in the county jail and a $500 fine. If it's your first offense, if it's a subsequent offense, the penalties are higher. Ma'am, where do you live?
I live on Highway 390
Okay, and how long have you lived in Bay County?
my whole life.
And are you working?
Yes, sir.
Where do you work?
I clean out on 38.
Is there a prior record on Ms. Keel?
Yes, sir. 21 DWLSR, grand theft auto paraphernalia, 20 failure to register the vehicle, possession of meth, petty theft, 18 VOP on a theft, 18 paraphernalia, 17 petty theft, 16 petty theft, goes back to 11.
And based on your prior record, I'm gonna set a bond of $500. Your next court date is June 3rd at 1 o'clock. Good luck.
Step to your right to the T. When the light comes on, sign. Next. Red X, ma'am. State your name.
Ms. McClellan, you're before the court today for your first appearance. I'll appoint the Office of Public Defender to represent you. You've been arrested on an outstanding capias, alleging you failed to pay a fine of $500. Judge Graham has ordered you to pay that fine, or in the alternative, serve 15 days in the Bay County Jail.
Step to your right to the T. When the green light comes on, you'll sign. Next. Red X, ma'am. Here you go. State your name.
Nikita Russell.
Ms. Russell, you're before the court today for your first appearance. I'm going to appoint the Office of Public Defender to represent you at this hearing. You've been charged with one count of domestic violence battery. That's a first-degree misdemeanor, punishment to 1 year in the county jail and a $1,000 fine. I reviewed the probable cause affidavit. I'm gonna find there's probable cause for your arrest. Ma'am, where do you live?
I live on 15th Street.
How long have you lived in Bay County?
Since 2016.
All right, and are you working?
Yes, sir.
Where do you work?
I work with pay setters. I was a maintenance for a Walmart.
Okay, and do you have family in this area?
Yes, sir, I do.
What family?
A mother and sisters.
Is there a private record on Ms. Russo?
Yes, sir. She has a domestic in 22, along with a tampering with the witness, which she just completed probation for.
Okay. All right, Ms. Russo, I'm gonna recommend you to the pretrial release program. That'll get you out of jail and have to put up a bond. There's some standard conditions you'll have to abide. The special condition is you're to have absolutely no contact with Michael Jordan. If you cannot go back to that address while he's there, your next court date's June 3rd at 1 o'clock. You understand?
Yes, sir.
Step on the X, 18. When the green light come on, sign. State your name, ma'am.
Christina McCray.
Ms. McCray, you're before the court today for your first appearance. You're not asking for public defender, so I want to point them. You've been charged with one count of driving under the influence. That's a traffic misdemeanor. If it's your first offense, it's punishment to 6 months in the county jail and a $500 fine. I reviewed the Florida DUI uniform traffic citation. I'm gonna find there's probable cause for your arrest. Ma'am, where do you live?
I live in Mayo, Florida.
And what brings you to Bay County?
I was here on vacation with my daughter.
And are you working?
Yes, sir. I've been a nurse for 20 years.
Okay, is there a prior record on Ms. McCray?
No, sir.
Ms. McCray, I'm gonna recommend you to the pretrial release program. That'll get you out of jail without putting up a bond. There's some standard conditions you'll have to abide by. The special conditions fit the random BAR breathalyzers as directed by the court or by the pretrial release program. You shall not possess or consume any alcoholic beverages while on release. Your next court date's June 3rd at 1 o'clock. Good luck.
Step to your right to the T. When the light comes on, sign. State your name, ma'am.
Jessica Chambers.
Ms. Chambers, you're before the court today for your first appearance. I'm going to appoint the Office of Public Defender to represent you. You've been charged with one count of introduction of contraband into a county correctional facility. That's a third-degree felony, punishment to 5 years in the Florida Department of Corrections and a $5,000 fine. You have one count of possession of drug paraphernalia, which is a first-degree misdemeanor, punishment for 1 year in the county jail and a $1,000 fine. and you've been arrested on an outstanding capious failure to appear for a pretrial. And Judge Van has ordered you be held on a $1,500 bond on that. Ms. Chambers, where do you live?
I live on Transmitter
How long have you lived in Bay County?
since 1989.
And are you working?
Not recently, sir. I've been out of work because of health problems.
Is there a prior record on Ms. Chambers?
South Carolina, you had a possession of cocaine in 18. Prior to that, nothing locally since 2009.
Well, based on the failure to appear for the pretrial, I'm gonna set a bond of $5,000 on the introduction, 1,000 on the paraphernalia. The next court date for those new charges is June 17th at 9 o'clock. And for the failure to appear on the driver while license suspended or revoked will be June 6th at 9 o'clock. Good luck to you. Oh, hold on.
Step
You'll
two.
submit forensic UAs as directed by the court.
Okay.
Step on the T. When the green light comes on, sign. Next. Red X. State your name.
Jessica Davidson.
Ms. Davison, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Ms. Davison, you're before the court date for your first appearance. I'm going to appoint the Office of Public Defender to represent you. You've been charged with 1 count of trespass and occupied structure conveyance. That's a first-degree misdemeanor, punishment to 1 year in the county jail and a $1,000 fine. I reviewed the probable cause affidavit. I'm gonna find there's probable cause for your arrest. Ma'am, where do you live?
409 College Avenue,
How long have you lived in Bay County?
about 5 years.
Are you employed?
I'm disabled.
Okay. Do you have any family in the area?
Not really.
Okay. Is there a prior record on Ms. Davison?
Yeah, 2 pages since 19, last one being a petty theft earlier this month. Couple of
Okay.
trespasses in April.
Ms. Davison, based on your prior record, I'm gonna set a bond of $500. You'll be able to contact family and friends in order to make your bond. Your next court date is June 3rd at 1 o'clock. You're to have absolutely no contact with the Petro Alex Way on 4130 Cherry Street. Do you understand?
Step to your right to the T. When the green light comes on, sign. Next, step on the red X. State your name.
Ms. Orson, you're before the court today for your first appearance. You're not asking for the public defender, so I'm not going to appoint them. You've been charged with 1 count of trespass on property, not a structure or conveyance. I believe, is that a second-degree misdemeanor?
Says first degree.
First-degree misdemeanor, punishment to 1 year in the county jail and a $1,000 fine. I reviewed the probable cause affidavit. I'm gonna find there's probable cause for your arrest. Ms. Orson, where do you live?
In Frisco, Texas, sir.
What are you doing in Bay County?
I was here for the Gulf Coast Jam concert.
Okay. And is there a prior record on Ms. Orson?
Shows no social for tracking on her.
Pardon? No,
She
sir.
shows no history with no social on it for the tracking.
All right, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna recommend you to the pretrial release program. As a special condition of that release, you shall not possess or consume any alcoholic beverages. You'll be subject to random BARs, and you shall not go back to that venue. You understand?
Is that court ordered, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
Or is
You're
that
not-
based on what they provided?
That is what I am. That is my order. You're not to go back up those jams. You understand?
Yes, sir.
Step to your right to the T. When the green light comes on, sign. Next. Ms. Hyde. Hyde. Step on the X. Say your name.
Barbara Hyde.
Ms. Hyde, you're before the court today for your first appearance. You're not asking for the public defender, so I'm not going to appoint them. You've been charged with 2 counts, driving under the influence, which is a traffic misdemeanor, punishment with 6 months in the county jail and a $500 fine if it's your first offense, and refusal to submit to a blood alcohol, which is a first traffic misdemeanor, punishment with 1 year in the county jail and a $1,000 fine. I reviewed the Florida DUI uniform traffic citation on both of those. I'm gonna find there's probable cause for your arrest. Ma'am, where do you live?
Out Southport.
And how long have you lived in Bay County?
Since 2003.
Are you employed?
Am I employed? Yes, sir.
Yes, ma'am. Where do you work?
Gulf Coast Fab and Fire.
Gulf Coast what?
Fab and Fire, fabricate pipe, sprinklers.
Is there a prior record on Ms. Hyde?
She has a DUI and a new legend in 22. She's just finished probation on that, and she has a battery in 17.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna recommend you to the pretrial release program. That'll get you out of jail. We have to put up a bond. There's some standard conditions you'll have to abide by. The special conditions is set random breathalyzers as directed by the court of the pretrial release program. You shall not possess or consume any alcoholic beverages while you're on release. Your next court date is June 3rd at 1 o'clock. Good luck.
Step to your right to the T. When the green light comes on, sign, step on the T.
Oh, sorry.
State your name.
Alyssa Cole.
Ms. Cole, you're before the court today for your
Yeah.
I'm going to appoint the Office of Public Defender to represent you. You've been charged of one count of fraudulent use of a credit card more than 2 times in a 6-month period. $100 or more, that's a third-degree felony, punished with 5 years in the Florida Department of Corrections and a $5,000 fine. I have reviewed the probable cause affidavit. I'm gonna have this find there's probable cause for your arrest. Man, where do you live?
I live in Seminole County.
Okay, what are you doing in Baker?
I'm visiting a friend.
Okay, and are you working?
I just lost my job.
Is there a prior record on Ms. Cole?
No, sir.
Ms. Cole, I'm gonna recommend you to the pretrial release program. That'll get you out of jail. We'll have to put up a bond. There's some standard conditions you'll have to abide by. The special conditions, you'll have no contact with the victim, Alicia Johnson. You're to have no contact with the co-defendant. I can't remember that name. Okay, that's Yazbeth Tucker Lopez. You understand? You'd have no contact with her.
Okay.
Your next court date, June 17th at 9 o'clock. Good luck.
Step to your right to the T. State your name.
Cassini Tucker Lopez.
Ms. Lopez, you're before the court today for your first appearance. I'm going to appoint the Office of Public Defender to represent you. You've been charged with principal to fraudulent illegal use of a credit card more than 2 times in a 6-month period with over $100. I've reviewed the probable cause affidavit. I'm gonna find there's probable cause for your arrest. Ma'am, where do you live?
Tennessee.
How long have you lived in Bay County?
About a week.
Okay. Where did you move from?
Orlando.
Okay. And are you working?
I was working in Orlando. I was currently starting a new job here.
Is there a prior record on Ms. Lopez?
Yes, sir. She actually out on bond out of Orlando for a grand theft auto and resisting. 20, you had a battery and a VOP. 19, grand theft auto, resisting petty theft, VOP times 2. VOP times 2 and 18, domestic disorderly on school property.
Ma'am, I am going, based on your lack of contacts with the community, your criminal record, I am going to set a $5,000 bond. You'll be able to contact family and friends in order to make your bond. You're to have no contact with the victim, Alicia Johnson, and you're to have no contact with the co-defendant, Alyssa Cole. Your next court date is June 17th at 9 o'clock. Good luck to you.
Step to your right to the T. Red X, ma'am, red X. State your name.
Chandler. What's up with you?
All right, Ms. Chandler, you're before the court today for your first appearance. I'm going to appoint the Office of Public Defender to represent you. You've been charged with 1 count of excessive to discharge of a firearm from a vehicle. Is that a third-degree felony?
Showing listed as a third-degree felony.
Okay, all right, that's punished with 5 Florida Department of Corrections and $5,000 fine. I reviewed the probable cause affidavit. I'm gonna find there's probable cause for your arrest. Ma'am, where do you live?
Where do you live?
414 LaGrange Drive, Panama City Beach, Florida.
How long have you lived in Bay County?
How long have you lived here?
Since 2020.
All right, are you working?
Yes.
Where do you work?
I have 2 jobs. I'm a server.
Ms. Chandler?
No, 22, you had a controlled substance and a resisting without. Your history.
Based on the nature of the charges, I'm gonna set a $5,000 bond. You'll be able to contact family and friends in order to make your bond. You're to have absolutely no contact with the alleged victim in the case. And you'd have absolutely no, and I believe that, and you'd have absolutely no contact whoever William in the probable cause affidavit. 5,000.
Okay.
Your next court date is June 27th at 9 o'clock. Good luck.
Step to your right to the T. When the green light comes on, sign. Next. Next up on the red X for me. State your name.
Chastity Gray.
Ms. Gray, you're before the court today for your first appearance. I'm going to appoint the Office of Public Defender to represent you. You've been charged with one count of principal to robbery with a firearm. That's a first-degree felony, punishable to life in prison. I reviewed the probable cause affidavit. I'm gonna find there's probable cause for your arrest. Ma'am, where do you live?
We will hit you good.
And how long you lived in Gulf County?
My whole life.
Work? Are you working?
No, sir.
All right. Is there a prior record on Ms. Gray?
Just a criminal mischief earlier this year.
All right, Ms. Gray. Based on the nature of the charges, I'm gonna set a $100,000 bond. You're to have absolutely no contact with the Howard Johnsons and on 23rd Street. You're to have absolutely no contact with Javier Bajan Malone. I believe that's the co-defendant's name. You understand?
Say it again.
Your next
Yes,
court
sir.
date, July 11th, 9 o'clock. Good luck.
Step on the T. When the light comes on, sign. State your name, ma'am.
Amber Gunder.
Mr. Gunder, you're before the court today for your first appearance. I'm going to appoint the Office of Public Defender to represent you. You've been arrested on an outstanding warrant alleging you violated the terms and conditions of your probation. Judge Rester's ordered you be held out bond. I'm going to leave that as it is. Your next court date is June 14th at 9 o'clock. Good luck.
Step to your right to the T. When that light goes off and comes back on, sign. Step on the X. State your name.
Tori Sue.
Is this Ms. Stanford?
Yes.
All right, sir, your name? What is it? Justin Boggs is present in the courtroom for you. Ma'am, you're before the court today for your first appearance. You've been arrested on an outstanding warrant alleged you violated the terms and conditions of your probation. Judge Rester's ordered you be held without bond. I'm gonna leave that as it is. Your next court date is July 10th at 9 o'clock. No, sir, that's Judge Rester. Bond for violating the probation. You're gonna have to talk to him.
Step to your right to the T.
July 10th is the next court date.
Sign. Next. Pass it. Oh, step over to your right. You step on the T. When that light goes off and comes back on, sign. Next. Zahara. Step on the X. State your name.
Kevin Zahara.
Mr. Zahara, you're before the court today for your first appearance. You've been arrested on a violation of an injunction. That's a first-degree misdemeanor, punishable to 1 year in the county jail and a $1,000 fine. Judge Dyer has reviewed the probable cause affidavit and found there's probable cause for your arrest. Sir, where do you live?
I'm 529 East State Court.
Okay. And are you working?
No, sir. I was starting back
Sure.
Monday.
Is there a prior record, Mr. Zahara?
Had FTA earlier this year. Before that, there was a synthetic in 14, domestic in 9, and that's it.
All right, sir. Based on that failure to appear and the nature of the charge, I'm gonna set a $2,500 bond. Your next court date's June 3rd at 1 o'clock. Good luck.
Step to your right to the T. When the light comes on, son. Next, red X,
Yes.
sir. State your name.
Mr. Cruz, are you here for Mr. Solis?
No, Your Honor, I have Chevron. See, I just got the information, so if the deputy
All
can
right.
move them up once.
He's coming up in about 3 people. He'll be up
Thank
in
you.
about 3 people.
No worries, thank
All
you.
right, Mr. Solis, you're before the court today for your first appearance. I'm going to appoint the Office of Public Defender to represent you. You've been charged with 1 count of possession of drug paraphernalia, which is a first-degree misdemeanor, punishment to 1 year in the county jail and $1,000 fine. Failure to arrest your motor vehicle, traffic misdemeanor, public punishment to 60 days in the county jail, and driver's license more than 6 months expired, which is a traffic misdemeanor punishment to 60 days in the county jail. I have reviewed the probable cause affidavit as well as the uniform traffic citations. I'll find there's probable cause for your arrest. Sir, where do you live?
I live here.
Okay, how long have you lived in Bay County?
I grew up here.
Are you
But
working?
I haven't got a job yet. I just moved back 2 days ago, or 4 days ago,
All right, and where'd you move back from?
from Texas.
Okay, and is there a prior record on Mr. Solis?
21 FTA 20, para DWLSR second, 18 less than 20 controlled substance and para, 17 less than 20 possession of meth, less than 20 FTA and 16 with another marijuana.
All right, sir, based on this failure to appear on your record, I'm gonna set a bond of $1,000 on the possession of paraphernalia, 250 on both of the traffic for a total of $1,500. Your next court date's June 3rd at 1 o'clock. Good luck.
Step to your right to the T. Sahara's didn't print. State your name.
Santiago.
Mr. Santiago, you're before the court today for your first appearance. You've been arrested on a warrant alleging you trespassed on property. That's the first-degree misdemeanor, punishment 1 year in the county jail and $1,000 fine. I'm going to appoint the Office of Public Defender to represent you. Judge Van found there was probable cause. Sir, where do you live? Where do you live at, sir?
Well, I just signed what he just said.
1838, 3818 East A Street, apartment 1302, Springfield.
Okay, how long have you lived in Bay County?
Excuse me,
How long you lived in Bay County?
around 4 years, 5 years, 4 years.
All right, is there a prior record on Mr. Santiago?
You held him yesterday on his VP.
All right, I am.
This is
going
an
to-
added charge.
I'm going to set him a $500 bond. His next court date's June 3rd at 1 o'clock.
Yes.
If I pay this bond, I still cannot get out, right?
Nope.
Lease.
All right, Mr. Fella, step out for me. Sign Santiago, sign. State your name.
Ronald Casey Morgan.
Mr. Court, you're before the court today for your first appearance. You're not asking for public defender, so I'm not going to appoint him. You've been arrested and charged with 1 count of driving under the influence. That's a traffic misdemeanor, punishment to 6 months in the county jail and a $500 fine if it's your first offense. I reviewed the Florida Uniform DUI traffic citation. I'm gonna find there's probable cause for your arrest. Sir, where do you live?
Troy, Alabama.
And what are you doing in Bay County?
Vacation.
Okay. And are you working in Alabama?
Yes, sir.
Where do you work?
Cattle farm.
Okay. And is there a prior record on Mr. Morgan?
No, sir.
Mr. Morgan, I'm gonna recommend you to the pretrial release program. That'll get you out of jail without putting up a bond. There's some special standard conditions you'll have to abide by. The special conditions, you'll submit to random breathalyzers as directed by the pretrial release program or by the court. You shall not possess or consume any alcoholic beverages while on release. Your next court date is June 3rd at 1 o'clock. Good luck.
State your name, sir.
Joseph Rogers.
Mr. Rogers, you're before the court today for your first appearance. I'm going to appoint the Office of Public Defender to represent you. You've been charged with one count of driving under the influence. That's a traffic misdemeanor. Punishment to 1 year in the county jail and 6 months in the county jail if it's your first offense, and a payable $500 fine. I review the Florida DUI uniform traffic citation. I find there's probable cause for your arrest. Sir, where do you live?
Panama City, Florida.
How long have you lived in Bay County?
My whole life.
Are you working?
Yes, sir.
Where do you work?
850 Speed Shop.
And is there a prior record, Mr. Rogers?
You have a DUI in 16 with a DWLSR, DWLSR 13, DUI, DWLSR in 12.
Based on your prior record, I'm gonna set a bond of $1,000. You'll be able to contact family and friends in order to make your bond. You'll submit to random breathalyzers as directed by the court. You shall not possess or consume any alcoholic beverages. Your next court date is June 3rd at 1 o'clock. Good luck.
Step to your right to the T. When the green light comes on, sign. Next. FedEx, sir. There you go. State your name.
Austin King.
All right, Mr. King, Mr. Cruz, this is not your client, is that correct?
His is next.
No, Your
Okay.
Honor.
All right, Mr. King, you have someone here, ma'am, if you'll state your name. All right, Karen is present in the courtroom here at the Bay County Courthouse. Not right now. I'll give you a chance, sir. All right, sir, you're based on your financial affidavit, I cannot appoint the Public Defender's Office to represent you. You've been charged with one count of resisting officer with violence, which is a third-degree felony, punishment to 5 years in the Florida Department of Corrections and a $5,000 fine. Battery on a correctional officer, which is a third-degree felony, punishment to 5 years in the Florida Department of Corrections and a $5,000 fine. Aggravated assault with a weapon without intent to kill, which is a third-degree felony, punishment to 5 years in the Florida Department of Corrections and a $5,000 fine. And attempted to escape. Does that bring it down from a second to a third, or is it still a second degree?
It's a third degree.
All right, punishment to 5 years in the Florida Department of Corrections and a $5,000 fine. I reviewed the probable cause affidavit. I'll find there's probable cause for your arrest. Mr. King, where do you live?
Panama City Beach, sir.
How long have you lived in Bay County?
My whole life.
Are you employed?
Yes, sir.
Where do you work?
At Grease Pro. Oil
Okay.
change.
All right, and let's see, is there a prior record on Mr. King?
Yes, sir. 21 kidnap, false imprisonment, domestic resisting, VOP. 20 paraphernalia, VOP. 19 flee and elude, resisting, controlled substance. Some no valid, 4 of 18, and some burglaries from 8 to 12. And that's it.
All right. Ma'am, you wanted to say something prior to me setting the bond or considering a release? What's your relationship?
I'm his sister.
Okay.
So I just wanted to say, honestly, everybody tried to help me as much as we could. And now I have to take off work. You know, I'm pregnant with your nephew. You already got a niece. And me thinking that I'll have both of my brothers there, my mom there together for my nephew and my niece. And I can't even have that because you went to do this. I wish you would just go get help like mom did. If mom can step up and go get help, even though she's still getting help, you can step too. I feel like ain't the only thing in the world for you. And I wish you would stop and think about your actions. And one, I don't know what the whole escape thing is, and I know you did it on your own. Why would you try to escape from jail? That's the most stupidest thing anybody could do. You know you go hard. But all I'm saying is we love you, and then me and Dustin is in tears, crying because of you, and mom crying because of you. Because all we want is for you to do good, and you was doing good. You always doing good, and then you get into your downfall. I just wish you would get help. And if the judge can order you for rehab or something, I would love that. And me, mom, and Dustin all talked about that. Because that's what you need. Just like mama needed it. Mama's getting help. You need to get help. Dustin got help. Dustin's doing good. Thankfully, I never got in trouble. If I did, I would get help. So I need you to get help. So you can be there for your niece and your nephew. So you can be there for any family. Because now I'm gonna be having another family function without you again. And it's been going on my whole life.
All right, thank you, Ms. King. I appreciate you. I appreciate you putting on the record. Mr. King, based on your prior record, I understand you got contacts with the community and your employee, but I'm gonna set a $5,000 bond on each of the felonies. That's a total of $20,000. You'll be able to contact family and friends in order to make your bond. As a special condition of your bond, you'll submit the random UAs and breathalyzer. You shall not possess or consume any alcoholic beverages while on release. You're to have absolutely no contact with any of the alleged victims in the case. You understand?
Sir.
Your next court date is July 1st, 9 o'clock. Good luck. Good luck to you, ma'am.
Step to your right to the T.
He has to set,
Red X, sir.
take a bond to get out. This is just his charge. He's only been arrested and charged. Okay?
State your name, sir.
Okay. Mr. Facey, you're before the court today for your first appearance. Mr. Cruz is present for you today. You're before the court today on a failure to appear capias that I issued to hold, and I held you without bond on that. And also a failure to appear on a arraignment for Judge Grammer, and he set $1,000 bond on that. Mr. Cruz, do you want to speak on behalf of Mr. Facey?
Yes, Your Honor. Well, maybe fortunate for him, it is this court that ordered him held without bond. So I'm hoping to make some arguments to convince you to set a bond. Your Honor, he's lived in Bay County for 5 years. He works at a server in 30A at Grayton Seafood. He has a brother, sister-in-law, and a nephew in the area. Your Honor, he did candidly miss court, and he was contacted by Steel Boys. He went in so that he could turn himself in. The police arrested him, and he was taken into custody. So that kind of speaks to the ability to want to address things and not to flee the county. Your Honor, I didn't have counsel represent him in the case. I will now be representing him. So that should maybe provide the court with to alleviate some of the court's concern that he will now have competent counsel to represent him. I'd ask the court, I would acknowledge that a higher bond might be warranted, but I'd ask the court to consider setting him a bond so that I can work with him and represent him in this case going forward.
Can you tell what bond was mistreated?
Yes, sir. He had, looks like 2 bonds have been mistreated. 3 bonds have been mistreated. There was a $3,000 bond set because he had previously.
Oh, no, they sent you there.
When he was very first appeared, he was placed on pretrial release. And he was arrested on pretrial release.
All right. Best I can do is I can set him a $20,000 bond. I'm not going to reinstate the bond because he's tried pre-trial release, tried a low bond. So I'm going to set a $20,000 bond. I'm going to leave Judge Grammer's bond as it is. And Mr. Cruz, you can let Mr. Facey know if he, and I'm appreciate his family, or he's got out and hired an attorney, but if he misses court again, he'll be held without bond until his case is disposed of. And
Absolutely.
I'm taking the nature of the charges off.
Thank you, Your Honor. I will make him aware, fully aware.
Next court date right now looks like in the felony is June 17th, and it'll be at 9 o'clock if he's in custody. That'll change and stay in touch with Mr. Cruz, and June 3rd at 1 o'clock for Judge Grammer.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, step to your right to the T. When the light comes on, sign. Red X, sir. State your name.
All right, Clark.
Mr. Clark, you're before the court today for your first appearance. I am going to appoint the Office of Public Defender to represent you. You've been arrested on two cases alleging you failed to appear. Judge Register has ordered you to be held without bond on his. That's the felony. The next court date on that's July 11th at 9 o'clock. And Judge Van has ordered you be held on a $1,500 bond on the no valid driver's license failure to appear. The next court date on that's June 3rd at 1 o'clock. Good luck to you, sir.
Step to your right to the T. Step to your, wait. Step on the T. When the green light comes on, sign. State your name, sir.
Terry Chatham, Your Honor.
Mr. Jeffin, you're before the court today for your first appearance. I'll appoint the Office of Public Defender to represent you. You've been charged with
Yes,
one
sir.
count of possession of a controlled substance, y'all. Best I can do as far as pronouncing it. That's a third-degree felony, punishment to 5 years in the Florida Department of Corrections and a $5,000 fine. Possession of drug paraphernalia, which is a first-degree misdemeanor, punishment to 1 year in the county jail and a $1,000 fine, and driving on license suspended or revoked with knowledge. That's a traffic misdemeanor. If it's your first offense, it's punishment to 60 days in the county jail.
Yes, Your Honor.
Judge Van found there's probable cause for your arrest. All right, sir, where do you live at?
I live at 4547 Cedar Street at my dad's house. I just moved, but I'll move back to my dad's for right now. I'm employed. I work 2 jobs.
Oh,
Is there any way that I can get like pre-trial, sir?
how long you lived in Bay County?
My whole entire life, Your Honor.
Is there, and where do you work at?
I work for Cool Chain Service Company. My dad, the same address that I'll be staying at, 4547 Cedar Street. We own an air conditioning company and a remodeling company.
Is there a prior record on Mr. Chatham?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
What's the record?
23, paraphernalia, VOP, 4 FTA, 5 FTA, 21, 2 controlled substance paraphernalia, DWLSR, 21 grand theft, vehicle grand theft. It goes back to 90s locally.
Is there any way that I can get pre-trial, Your Honor? Like with an ankle
No,
monitor?
sir. Not with your prior record, but I will set you a $5,000 bond on the felony and
Yes, sir.
$500 on each of the misdemeanors. They will give you a chance to contact your family and friends in order to make your
How
bond.
much would that be altogether, Your Honor?
Altogether, $6,000. You'll submit to random UAs as directed
So
by the
600.
court. And you should not possess or consume any alcoholic beverages while you're on release. Your next court date is June 27th at 9 o'clock.
So I got a 6,000 on the bond.
Mhm.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Yes, sir.
Next,
So 600 bucks for 10% of that,
that's
right?
between you and the bondsman though, but yes, yes. State your name, sir.
Mr. Ellis, you're before the court today for your first appearance.
Yes, sir.
Based on your financial affidavit, I cannot appoint the public defender. You've been charged with 3 counts and arrested for 3 counts. Unlawful use of a two-way communication device to facilitate a felony. That's a third-degree felony, punishment to 5 years in the Florida Department of Corrections and a $5,000 fine. Use of a computer to solicit minor, which is a third-degree felony, I believe, punishment to 5 years in the Florida Department of Corrections and a $5,000 fine. And travel to meet after use of a computer to lure a child, which is a third-degree felony, punishment to 5 years in the Florida Department of Corrections and a $5,000 fine. I reviewed the probable cause affidavit. I'm gonna find there's probable cause for your arrest. Sir, where do you live?
I live 112 White Cap Way, Panama City Beach.
How long have you lived in Bay County?
About a year now.
All right. And are you working?
Yes, I work for a subcontractor, Reliable Hospitality, and the construction site I work on is TES Total Alert Services.
Is there a prior record on Mr. Ellis?
Shows no history with no social for tracking.
Okay. All right, sir, based on the nature of
This
the
is my
charges,
first
I'm gonna set a bond of $5,000 on each charge for a total of $15,000. Your next court date is June 27th at 9 o'clock. You're to have absolutely no contact with any minors. Good luck.
To your right to the T. When the green light comes on, sign.
Right here.
Yes, sir. State your name.
Gerald Moore.
Mr. Moore, you're before the court today for your first appearance. I'm going to appoint the Office of Public Defender to represent you. You've been charged with one count of fleeing and attempting to elude with lights and sirens activated. That's a third-degree felony, punishment to 5 years in the Florida Department of Corrections and a $5,000 fine. Driving while license suspended or revoked, which is a traffic misdemeanor. If it's your first offense, it's punishment to 6 months in the county jail or 60 days in the county jail and a $500 fine. Possession of drug paraphernalia, which is a first-degree felony, punishment first-degree misdemeanor, punishment to 1 year in the county jail and a $1,000 fine. Resisting without violence, which is a first-degree misdemeanor, punishment to 1 year in the county jail and a $1,000 fine. And grand theft of a motor vehicle, which is a third-degree felony, punishment 5 years in the Florida Department of Corrections and a $5,000 fine. I've reviewed the probable cause affidavit and found there's probable cause for your arrest. Sir, where do you live?
So I live here in Bay County. I've been here my whole life. I've got 2 jobs and I just got married 2 weeks ago. I'm not going anywhere. I really would love some pretrial release and maybe ankle monitor. I'm not going anywhere.
All right, is there a prior record, Mr.?
I don't want to lose my job is why.
23, grand theft auto ×3, burglary ×2, larceny, petty theft, grand theft ×3, fraud, 19, criminal mischief, burglary ×5, petty theft, grand theft ×4, grand theft auto ×2. Locally, there's a burglary and 18, 2 grand theft autos, a loitering, and a DWLSR.
All right, sir, based on your prior record, I'm bound to set a bond. I'll recognize your contacts with the community. I'm gonna set a $5,000 on the fleeing and attempting to elude, $1,000 on the driving while suspended, $1,000 on the possession of paraphernalia, $1,000 on the resisting officer without violence, $5,000 on the grand theft of a motor vehicle.
So what is it?
Your next court
13.
date's June 27th at 9 o'clock. Good luck.
Thank you, sir.
Step to your right to the T. When the green light comes on, sign. State your name, sir.
Mr. Wiley, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Wiley, you're before the court today for your first appearance. I cannot appoint the public defender based on your financial affidavit. You've been charged with 2 counts, 1 count of domestic violence assault, which is a third-degree felony, punishment to 5 years in the Florida Department of Corrections and a $5,000 fine, and domestic violence battery, which is a first-degree misdemeanor, punishment to 1 year in the county jail and a $1,000 fine. I reviewed the probable cause affidavit. I'm gonna find there's probable cause for your arrest. Sir, where do you live?
2622 Michigan Avenue, sir.
How long have you lived in Bay County?
About 8 years.
And are you working?
No, sir, retired military, 26 years.
Okay. And is there a prior record on Mr. Wiley?
No, sir.
Mr. Wiley, I recognize your contacts with the community and your lack of a prior record, but based on the nature of the charges, I'm gonna set a bond of $10,000 on the aggravated assault, $1,000 on domestic violence battery. As special conditions, you're not to possess no possession of a firearm while you're on bond.
Yes, sir.
You're to have absolutely no contact with Renee George. Your
Yes,
next
sir.
court date is June 17th at 9 o'clock. Good luck.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Step to your right to the T. When the green light comes on, sign. Next. Red X, sir. State your name.
JVR Malone.
Mr. Malone, you're before the court date for your first appearance. I am going to appoint the public defender's office to represent you. You've been charged with 1 count of robbery with a firearm. That's a first-degree felony, punishment to life in prison. You also have been arrested on warrantless violation of probation. I reviewed the probable cause affidavit. I'm gonna find there's probable cause for your arrest. Mr. Malone, where do you live?
3818 East 8th Street, Springfield Crossing.
How long have you lived in Bay County?
10, 11 years.
Are you working?
Yes, sir.
Who do you work with? Work for?
I work at the shrimp basket on the beach.
Okay. Is there a prior record on Mr. Malone?
Um, 22, marijuana with intent, paraphernalia, 21, first degree felony with the weapon, paraphernalia, 2 controlled substances.
Mr. Long, based on the nature of the charge, I'm going to set a bond. I'm going to set a bond of $250,000 on the robbery with firearm. I'm going to hold you without bond on the violation of probation warrant. You're to have no contact with the co-defendant in the case. Your next court date is July 11th at 9 o'clock. Good luck.
It's up to your right to the T. State your name, sir.
Ryan Jenkins.
Jenkins, you're before the court today for your first appearance. I'm going to appoint the Office of Public Defender to represent you. You've been arrested on an outstanding warrant alleging you violated the terms and conditions of your probation. Judge Gaze ordered you be held without bond. I'm going to leave that as it is. Your next court date is July 2nd at 9 o'clock. Good luck.
Step behind him over there. Next. Red X, sir. State your name.
Keith Cantrell.
Mr. Cantrell, you're before the court today for your first appearance. You've been arrested on a interstate warrant. I'll appoint the Office of Public Defender to represent you. It is a warrant out of Palm Beach County. It's for alleging you violated the terms and conditions of your probation. Judge Rowe has ordered you be held without bond. I'm going to leave that as it is. I'm going to have a return date.
I'm sorry.
June 7th. Yes, sir.
Your Honor, I just wanted to state, I don't know if you was aware, but I already had my first appearance 9 days ago. And when I came for my first appearance 9 days ago, the honorable judge that was presiding over that hearing told me that he put in a call to them to give them a 5-day period to pick me up.
No, he didn't. I was here that day.
Yes, he did. He
I
said
was here that day.
he flat out said on the record that he gave him 5 days.
He's scheduled.
It doesn't. He's already scheduled.
Yes, sir.
All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have a return date of June 17th. Good luck to you, Mr. Cantrell.
Sir, is it any way I can get a bond on this case?
No,
I'm
sir.
telling you,
No, sir.
the judge told me flat out that he was giving them 5 days to come and get me. And if they
Let me
didn't,
just tell you something. It doesn't matter to me if the judge told you that or not. Now, they've indicated that the judge did not tell you, but I'm not bound by that. And I'm not letting you out on a out of state, on a out of county warrant that the judge has ordered you be held without bond. All I'm doing is keeping a track of you where you're at in the jail. And if I'm doing first appearance on June 17th, I'm not going to let you out on jail. I may contact Palm County and see why they haven't come and got you. So it doesn't matter to me whether the judge told you that or not, if that'll ease your mind. Okay? Have a good afternoon.
Step over to the T. State your name.
Mr. Husbands, you're before the court today for your first appearance. I cannot appoint the public defender based on your financial affidavit. You've been charged with 1 count of driving under the influence. I say traffic misdemeanor. If it's your first offense, it's punishable with 6 months in the county jail and a $500 fine. I reviewed the Florida DUI uniform traffic citation. I'll find there's probable cause for your arrest. Sir, where do you live?
Panama City, Florida,
How long have you lived in Bay County?
all my life.
Are you working?
Yes, sir.
Where do you work?
I own a gutter business.
Okay. Is there a prior record on Mr. Husbands?
Yes, sir. 2002 DUI, 2005 reckless, 2008 DUI, 2008 DUI. You have one back in the 90s. You have a DUI with damage and a child neglect at 18 in this one.
Sir, based on your prior record, I'll recognize your contacts with the community, but I'm going to set a $1,500 bond. You'll submit to random BAs as directed by the court, breathalyzers, excuse me, and you will not possess or consume any alcoholic beverages on release. Your next court date is June 3rd at 1 o'clock. Good luck.
To your right to the T. When the light comes on, sign. Next. Craddock. Stepping on the red X. Face the TV. State your name, sir.
Craddock, you're before the court today for your first appearance. You're not asking for the public defender, so I want to appoint them. You've been arrested on an outstanding warrant from Judge Van for a failure to complete the terms and conditions of your probation. He has ordered you be held on a $5,000 bond. I'm going to leave that as it is. Your next court date is June 19th at 1:30. Good luck to you.
Step to your right to the T. When the green light comes on, sign. Yes, sir.
Y'all have a good week. Everyone have a good week. It's good to see you. Thank y'all. Nice to meet you. All right.
That chemical you had trouble pronouncing.
Well, that's over. I didn't expect that to be over quite so soon, but it's been an hour. Holy gosh. Time flies when you're watching court. Well, it wasn't Judge Van, but I thought it would be fun to see the Bay County first appearances with Judge Brantley Clark Jr. When it comes to Bay County judges, I have two favorites personally. I mean, there's more than two. Don't get me wrong, but Judge Brantley Clark Jr. is probably my favorite. I'll just admit it. Judge Van, as far as first appearances go, when Judge Van is doing first appearances, I absolutely love Judge Van. But I don't do a lot of videos with Judge Clark, but I watch Judge Clark's regular court cases a lot. And it's not that they're entertaining, they're just interesting. And he is a very firm individual. Don't let his taste in snazzy hairdos fool you. Although he has cut his hair recently, or I don't know if it's recently or not. He doesn't have the swooping action that he used to have, but it's still an amazing hairdo. I don't care what anybody says. Snazzy hairdos are what it's all about. So anyway, yeah. We got more stuff to do. I think, I'm trying to decide. Do we do, I have a Corey Harris thingamajiggy. So I was thinking about putting it in right here and sliding it in before the Judge Simpson docket, but I could just play the Judge Simpson docket first and then do the Corey Harris update at the end. Because the Corey Harris update is it's a little bit of it's kind of a recap on what we've already seen. But what's funny and interesting about it is it's an interview with a local Detroit news agency. So I'm kind of delaying a little bit and keeping an eye on chat here. Y'all can tell me, would you rather see the Corey Harris interview first, or would you rather see Buffliff and Simpson and all that type of good stuff? I'm not sure. I'm teeter-tottering. I need help making decisions. Don't make decisions. Just, oh, by the way, Mom, you didn't tell me. You want Captain D's or Zaxby's for lunch? Georgia Pete says interview. First answer wins. Mom, think about lunch. I don't know what I'm doing right now. I'm doing things. I'm doing things.
Michigan man finding himself in.
Wait. We have a. We have another. Georgia, do you want to reconsider it all? You want to go with the interview first? It's all good. It's all good. So the Simpson is the landlord-tenant docket from yesterday. It's not the whole docket, but it's cherry-picked portions, which I think are interesting. I tell you what. I want you all to stick around. So to entice you to stick around, I'm saving the Corey Harris. Corey Harris is the guy, just so everybody knows, he's the guy who got busted driving in his car, showing up to court on Zoom for driving while suspended. So that's who Corey Harris is. So if you want to see a little bit of an update on the Corey Harris situation, stick around to the very end of the stream, and I have a special video that I put together that is a little bit of a recap, as well as an update with the news interview. Oh, everybody's screaming interview first now. Okay. We can play it twice. It's not that one. Here we go. Interview first.
Michigan man finding himself in even bigger trouble this morning.
He was recently arrested after attending a Zoom hearing for driving with a suspended license while driving his car.
Court calls case People versus Corey Harris.
Conrad Siller on behalf of Pittsfield Township.
Assistant Public Defender Natalie Tate for Mr. Harris, who should be present via Zoom.
Mr. Harris, are you driving?
Actually, I'm pulling into my doctor's office, actually. So just give me 1 second. I'm parking right now.
Great. You stationary?
I'm pulling in right now at this second. Yes, I am.
All right. What are we doing?
Your Honor, we are respectfully requesting an adjournment in this matter, up possibly 2 to 4 weeks if the court would allow.
Okay. So maybe I don't understand something. This is a driving while license suspended?
That is correct, Your Honor.
And he was just driving. And he didn't have a license.
That is with the charges, Your Honor, yes.
No, I'm looking at his
Yes.
record. He doesn't have a license. He's suspended and he's just driving.
That is correct, Your Honor.
Hello?
1 minute, Mr. Harris.
I don't even know why he would do that. So defendant's bond is revoked in this matter. Defendant is to turn himself into the Washington County Jail by 6 p.m. today. Failure to turn himself in will result in a bench warrant with no bond. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Harris, I'll be giving you a call.
Ann Arbor District Judge Cedric Simpson stunned by the actions of defendant Corey Harris and revoked his bond. This is today's edition of What Were You Thinking?
Oh, it's like it didn't even dawn on him.
Right.
He's like, oh yeah.
Suspended license. Oh, I shouldn't be driving while talking to the judge. Too late.
Too late.
Yeah.
Busted.
Oh, well.
Yeah.
Well, now to that viral video fallout after a man was seen driving during a virtual court hearing for driving on a suspended license. Today, Corey Harris talks about why he was behind the wheel, but he also says he should not have been charged in the first place.
And 7 News reporter Kimberly Craig talked to Harris and checked into that suspension.
After he was busted driving on a suspended license, Corey Harris had to report to the Washtenaw County Jail here. And today I asked him what everyone wants to know. What were you thinking?
What was I thinking? I was thinking about getting my wife medical help. That's what I was thinking.
Corey Harris said that's why he was behind the wheel earlier this month when he appeared before District Court Judge Cedric Simpson, who knew Harris was appearing on a charge of driving while license suspended.
Mr. Harris, are you driving?
Actually, I'm pulling into my doctor's office, actually. So just give me 1 second.
We spoke to Harris by phone today, and he said the doctor wanted to see his wife for some ongoing medical issues that had worsened, and he didn't think about anything but getting her there.
You stationary?
I'm pulling in right now at this second. Yes, I am.
Corey Harris was cited for driving while license suspended in Pittsfield Township back in October. He said it was suspended for unpaid child support. Secretary of State records show his license was first suspended for child support back in 2010. But Harris told us he thought his license had been reinstated.
They were supposed to have been lifted it two years ago, but they didn't.
And according to the Saginaw County court records we found, Harris is right. In January 2022, a judge rescinded that suspension on his license, but for some reason that information never got to the Secretary of State, where even as of today, his license is still listed as suspended, the same records the judge was going by.
This is a driving while license suspended,
That is correct, Your Honor.
and he was just driving. Failure to turn himself in will result in a bench warrant with no bond.
It's very embarrassing. And with the type of ties that I have with the church and the community, it's very embarrassing.
Thursday afternoon, Harris told us he was going to the Secretary of State's office to try to straighten out everything between them and friend of the court once and for all.
Always double check behind these workers, because they will say that they will do something and they don't do it.
In Ann Arbor, Kimberly Craig, 7 News, Detroit.
Well, let's hope he gets that straightened out. Thank you, Kim.
Dun, 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 dun. So, funny turn of events there. He thought his license should have been renewed because of reasons, but he never, like everyone pointed out here, he never actually went the extra little step of just making sure, or even reapplying as if as he might have been required to do. I assure you, once people like really look into like what's going on there, it's probably more his fault than the workers who didn't do what they were supposed to do. I mean, if I could lend a little bit of commentary here, I mean, what a kind of entitled thing to say from his position. I mean, how dare he say that, oh, this person who's probably inundated with a metric ton of paperwork that they have to fulfill on a regular basis, how dare they make a mistake in their everyday life? I never make mistakes like that when I'm working. What an idiot. And to do it on the news, that's a next level. I mean, if I would like to think if that had been me, I would have said, I'm very frustrated about the situation. It's my fault for not double checking and making sure that the process had gone through the way it should have. I'll, make sure to do whatever I need to do to ensure that my license is cleared up so this type of confusion doesn't happen again in the future. But the whole situation is entirely embarrassing. And knowing the extra little mile, I can actually kind of forgive him now for driving at that point in time. He probably in his head thought, my license is valid again, so I have nothing to worry about. But it's still really, really silly considering he was showing up in court for a driving while suspended. I mean, number one, don't activate your Zoom camera while you're in the driver's seat, period, end of story, ever. Stop sentence. That's just the number one rule, right? Have your car stopped? Be in the back seat or the passenger seat. Be in a seat that is not the driver's seat. And be prepared to show like the area behind you is not moving. Or here's an even better idea. I can't believe I didn't think about this to start with. How about we not use our cameras on our phones for doing court hearings in Zoom? Because most all of us have access to tablets and computers that can be connected to full-fledged Wi-Fi networks and not have to depend on cell towers that may have faults. in the middle of your hearing. I'm sorry. I'm getting off on one of my little tangents, and I probably shouldn't, but yeah, that's my opinion on that situation, and I'm sticking to it. All that being said, we have more Simpson, and Simpson is going to have some buff lift. So, ladies who enjoy that sort of thing, prepare to be entertained. But for now, Judge Simpson.
Kirk Glasso versus Artie Dracos.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Jay McCurgy appearing on behalf of the plaintiff.
Oh, this is Gato. Sorry.
Your name again, ma'am?
Gata Dari.
Yes, and for whatever reason, I skipped your name. But you're also on this case. All right. All right, folks, this is the second hearing. Did we get the money judgment corrected?
I believe so, Your Honor.
Okay. And again, counsel, I apologize for that. It made no sense to me, but yes, we do. We're good. Okay. So where are we now in this case?
Your Honor, last time we met, Miss Dari was stating her case as to why she didn't believe she should be on this money judgment. I'm here with Mr. Glassel, and we have reasons as to why we should. If the other parties are not available, we ask for a
Can take a default as to them. Ma'am,
Yes, sir.
you
Yes, Your
never
Honor.
moved in. Is that correct?
Correct. So due to personal reasons, I did not move in, family health issues. So I reviewed the document or the rental agreement. It says the lease agreement did not stipulate any notice requirement. And so if I had the intent of vacating, or as far as I know, again, a layperson, I go as far as what I read. So when I made the decision not to move in, that was due to a personal reason. So I never actually, within 2 weeks of actually signing the lease agreement, I decided to make that decision.
Ma'am, but you signed the rental agreement, correct?
Correct. With the intention of moving in.
Understood.
Mm-hmm.
The very fact that you didn't move in, you're still liable under the agreement.
You're right. As far as I understood regarding what was served to me, it was regarding a holdover, which I wasn't aware of any holdover, what was going on with them. I had to reach out to the real estate agent that found the location for me to understand what was actually going on.
Right, that's right.
And that was
a holdover. Yeah. So, counsel, is all of the rent owing after the lease? After the lease had expired?
Correct, Your Honor. The lease. Oh.
No, the last time they made a payment was February, I believe.
February, Your Honor, was the last payment we have.
And then the lease, I think, expired March 31st. So I'll talk to Sophia. She informed me that everything was up to date in regards to the actual rent. So it was 1 month.
Your Honor, if I may clarify, or if I may add some light as to our position, it would be the parties were both represented by a realtor. Miss Dari and Mr. and Mrs. Dracos applied together. If my client had thought Miss Dari was not going to move in and be a guarantor, we would have signed a guarantor agreement. It was Miss Dari's income that was used to approve the lease or approve the ability to move in. We were never notified that she wasn't in the location. We were never notified that she moved out, which I guess she says she didn't move in. She corresponded with the landlord as if she was a tenant.
I was coordinating because there
But
was communicate.
hold on a
Right.
second. But counsel, does the leasing provision doesn't require her to say anything prior to the termination of that lease?
Require her to say anything as far as her moving in or
Well,
not.
meaning, let's assume that all of the parties just vacated at the end of the lease, March 31st, they just leave. Your client wouldn't have claim for any rent thereafter, because they wouldn't be holding over. The lease terminates of its own accord.
Correct, Your Honor. Yeah, I understand. I'm
All
following.
right. So with Ms. Dari, why doesn't her interest just terminate?
So our position would be that the lease holds everyone jointly and severally liable, and the lease also addresses the holdover period.
Right, but if there are 3 tenants and one moves out, they're gone. There's no lease. They just leave. You're saying she's liable for the other 2 staying?
Jointly and severally, we believe so.
Oh, I understand what the lease says, but she's gone.
So, Your Honor, what we're trying to prevent, or what this could also be, is, and we don't know because parties were represented by a realtor, and my client never met these parties because of the realtor involvement. But we would not. What would happen if she applied just to approve them to move in and then never moved in? What if she was a straw person using credit or income to prove their viability as tenants and then didn't move in?
Okay, what if she did?
That's why we are trying. If we had known that, we would have used a guarantor agreement rather than having her listed on.
I get that, counsel, that things might have been done differently. But the status once she signed is that of a tenant. Whether she moves in or not, let's say she had moved in for a month and then she said, I gotta go for whatever her reasons are, I gotta go. But the tenancy is still paid for through the end of the lease, but she's not there. She basically has vacated. She's terminated her interest March 31st. Why is she liable for anything in terms of residency afterwards?
We have her listed on the lease as a resident, and we're not notified or we did not know she moved out. I mean, she never said, I never moved in. You would assume that she would have mentioned, I didn't move in at some point, but during the entire tenancy, she was corresponding in the group chat as if she were one of the tenants.
Okay, but now she's gone. Let's assume that she was there even, okay? I know she's not. Let's assume that she was there. Come March 31st, she packs her stuff up, she vacates. Why is she liable for any additional rent? She's turned over possession.
Turned over possession to the other 2 tenants or to us? Possession was never.
She is surrendered because she's left.
She never notified us of a mailing address, or how is the landlord supposed to know that?
Is she required to do that?
Michigan leases require notification of a forwarding address for purposes of the security.
If there's going to be an issue regarding security deposit, certainly.
Yeah, correct.
That doesn't trigger the forwarding address doesn't trigger anything.
So, Your Honor, the holdover provision of the lease would address holding over, and the jointly and severally liable portion of the lease would also state that the parties were jointly and severally liable for that holdover period. It would continue.
Your Honor, may I
Yes.
make a statement? Again, this is not my forte, as green as possible. This is just me doing my research. So I pulled up, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, because I don't know this. It says Michigan law on joint and several liability. Under Michigan law, joint and several liability does not extend beyond the period for which I was contractually obligated. Any actions taken by the other tenants after the lease term ended could not be legally attributed to me. The Draco's family have solely decided without my knowledge or consent and continue to live there past the contracted date. Michigan law supports that the tenant cannot be held liable for actions of other tenants once the lease obligations have been fulfilled.
I don't know
And
what you're
that's me
reading
reading.
from, but I don't know what you're reading from, but that's fine. That is indeed my understanding.
That's what I pulled from. Yeah. So again, I don't know. I'm representing myself as very minimal knowledge.
No, I understand. I'm just saying she contracts for a year. She fulfills, however that happened, doesn't really matter. She fulfills her obligations for that year. Contract ends. She's not in the premises, which was what the subject matter of the contract is. There are people that may be in the premises. That's fine. But I don't know how her obligation continues.
If her obligation were to end, Your Honor, she would then still be liable for March rent. So we would ask for the judgment for
March rent may be an issue if it goes through March. If March wasn't paid, certainly.
So for
I don't think in anything, and Ms. Dari, you can correct me if I'm wrong. I don't think in anything she has said she's doesn't hold some liability for the lease term. And she believed that it was all paid through the lease term, but if it's not, she's liable for that. I don't have a problem with that. It's the period in time after the lease ends, because at that point, she's no longer occupying the premises. She never did, but certainly after the lease term, she's no longer occupying the premises.
Respectfully, Your Honor, may I ask, what was the total amount? And I can pull up the contract because again, I was informed by Sophia that they're up to date on everything. The actual lease agreement and I can pull it up right now. She's a realtor she noted, like when I got served, I communicated with her. I'm like, hey, what's going on? Yeah. So there was what is the deposit? How much was the deposit total?
Security deposit?
Security deposit, which I'm sure it wasn't sent back to them. There's still a hold.
Yep. We have 5,700.
And how much was rent total?
3,800.
3,800. So
hold on a second. Stop.
Okay.
Everybody just stop for a minute. Counsel, you're telling me that there's a $5,700 security deposit, right? There's $3,800 owing in rent.
No, the monthly rental payment was 3,800. We have rent owing at
1 month.
No,
so folks,
there's two.
We have an alarm going off, so I'm gonna have to stop this proceeding. I'll come back at some point. I'm sure you can hear it. Probably court stands in recess. Kirk Gassel versus Dracos.
Jay McCurgy on behalf of the plaintiffs.
Got it done.
All right. Okay. I'm trying to remember exactly where we were, but I think it was really the March rent, which was the issue.
And then I'd asked how much the security deposit was, and I think he had stated it was like 5,600, and then the actual rent is 30. I don't even recall the actual total amount.
Right. The rent is 38, but that's only for 1 month.
And that was only
well, but hold on. Even if I think you said the security deposit was 57, right?
Correct, John. Yes.
All right. So give me 57 divided by 3, please. So they could take the security as that, but that's going to happen at a different point in time. Have the folks vacated the premises to your knowledge, Mr. Kirji?
Yes, Your Honor, they have.
So does your client have possession back?
He does.
Okay.
Your Honor,
So he would, yes.
The lease states that the security deposit doesn't have to be used for rent and arrears, and he was planning on using the security deposit for the damages, which are extensive.
Where in the lease does it say that?
Page 1, where it's.
Just one moment, Your Honor. Page 1, the security deposit.
I say in no cases does they're obligated. You know what? I'm gonna tell you what. And I'm just gonna be blunt about it, but I mean, I'll listen to everybody, but it seems to me that this individual, Ms. Dari, that all she wants to do is resolve the account. It's a 1 month. And quite frankly, I don't think she's gonna be obligated for anything after that 1 month. And part of, if nothing else, if I were to take the security deposit divided by 3, about $1,900 you have of her funds that could be applied to whatever her rental obligation would be, remaining on that lease. The landlord doesn't want to do that. That's fine. I think the best thing to do is, since I don't have to grant a judgment for possession, I might as well set this for a final settlement conference and a trial. Because I think, and I'll be blunt, I mean, I think she's sitting here and that the position of the landlord regarding this tenant is whatever it is. I mean, I just don't think it's, I mean, she's not hiding from anything. She seems to be willing to try to resolve it. And I'm not sure that the landlord's feeling that way.
Your Honor, my client.
So I'll resolve it.
If we were willing to take, we may be willing to take the 1 month's rent, but there are other associated fees like an overdue water bill and some HOA fines that did occur before the 31st of March that we would like added to it, but we'll take the 1 month's rent as the court sees for this, against
Just
Ms.
the other
Barr.
stuff.
So we have overdue water, January through March, $610. We have late fees of $300 and HOA fine.
Late fees of $300 for how much? How many months?
It's 6 times. So, and 2 have been paid, so 4 times. The late fee is $150.
Okay.
I was unaware, Judge. I was unaware of any of this.
Hold on, ma'am. I hear you. I'll hear you, but so there's an additional what? 1,200?
So we have 610 in 600, and then we have a that's correct, 1,200. 525 in HOA fines. So
5 and
25 in the HOA fines.
What were those fines for?
There were about 24 HOA violations, I believe it was 24. Various things from leaving the dog leash and the cigarette containers out, trash in the lawn, not cutting the grass, leaving trash bins outside of the garage.
Tell you what.
An assortment.
You guys know how to get in touch with each other. I'm just going to set this for trial. Everybody come with what they have, and then I'm just going to make a call on it. I mean, like I said, I'll just be blunt. Miss Dari is here. If you're gonna nickel and dime her, we'll just do it in a trial. And then I can make the decision.
Your Honor, we're not nickel and diming anyone. We're trying to uphold the.
I think you are. I'll be honest with you, counsel. I think when you start talking about HOA, why weren't they collected during the term of the lease from the tenants? Why wasn't there a filing before now?
So, Your Honor, the filing came, there was a negotiation for them to leave. There was an agreement that they would be leaving month, and then they asked for another month. And then finally, when we said we were filing, they vacated the property. So this was an extended period of time where we were expecting the property back.
Okay, but when you weren't, were you dealing with Miss Dari?
I included her on all of the emails.
Which I have.
Dealing with? But who were you dealing with?
Well,
so Your Honor, even the tenants themselves were, most of the responses were from their son, Nick Dracos, who may or may not have been living at the property. I'm not sure.
Non-jury trial, June 18th, 2024, 9 a.m. in person. Bring all your exhibits, bring all your documents, and then I'll just make a call on this. Miss Dari, you wanted to say something. I'm sorry, ma'am.
No, Your Honor, I don't have anything to really bring other than I'm the one that showed up despite I haven't lived there. The other tenants.
I know, and I just need you to show up at the trial.
Okay.
And then I'll deal with it from there.
And Your Honor, are we gonna may we submit a default judgment for the other two tenants?
I'm setting the whole thing for trial. I'm not parsing them out. You won't parse them out. I'm not going to parse them out. Everybody be here on the 18th in person.
June 18th. What time?
18th, June 18th. I'll be in courtroom A. I'll have bells on. Everybody else have theirs.
What time, sir?
9 a.m.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. New Park Ridge Apartments versus Ebony Hobbs and Casey Hobbs.
And for plaintiff.
Oh, there you are. Hello, what's your name?
Ebony Hobbs.
All right. And where are we on this? There was the hot water, the mailbox key.
I fixed the hot water.
Pardon?
Hot water is fixed.
Okay.
No mailbox key though.
You still don't have a mailbox.
They haven't reached out to me as well. I reached out to them, got no response. So I paid the $1,028 again.
$1,028. Okay. You paid that directly to them.
I paid that on
To the landlord.
Yeah.
On the
Straight to them.
24th. Is that correct? Okay, so what's our balance at this point?
$2,654.
$2,654, and then I have June clicking in tomorrow. So
I haven't said anything.
what's your monthly rent for?
$1,028.
That's right. That's how we set that number. Okay. Okay, so this will keep us at the 20. We came down, but when could the June rent be paid? Do you know?
I don't know. I've been paying them almost every week. I can't afford to keep paying $1,028 twice a month.
No, okay, I got you. But so tell me what you can do. Because here's what I'm gonna do likely, because you got to get a mailbox key. I'm gonna put it out to the 14th. Okay.
Okay.
So what I guess I really was asking, between now and the 14th, what can be paid? Let's do it that way.
I can pay $500
until
I get paid on the 7th.
So 500 on the 7th.
Mhm.
Okay, so I'll put 500 on the 7th. That'll work. I mean,
I could pay the whole thing, but I'm just refusing to at this point. They're not willing to reach out.
Why?
I'm
You know
just-
what? She could have just let it slide.
I know I can't.
And I would have just let it just go. Like, all she's got is
This is-
500. Well, no, I could pay the whole thing, but
But I'm not. But I've reached out to them several times about just, if you get the late fees off, I'd pay it in one
All right,
month.
listen, just listen.
They don't want to. Sorry.
No, I'm just gonna let you talk.
Thank you.
You ain't gonna let me.
Plus, I walked here.
You walked here?
I walked here. So,
Okay, so here's the deal.
okay.
Get the 500 in. Can you? Is 1,000. Let me ask you, can you do 528?
I can even go, yeah.
Okay, I want to keep the numbers where I can. Okay, so pay the 528, so it's I get your point. I mean, I make fun of it, but I get your point.
Yeah.
Okay. And so then I will adjourn this out to the 14th. Can we get our mailbox key?
Yes, Your Honor. Yes. And then Ms. Hobbs, you're contesting late fees or asking for a waiver of late fees. What amount of late fees? Like what amount?
They weren't, she just told me the late fees were out of the question to waive. So I haven't heard from her since then. So I'm just trying to figure out a fair amount where I can,
She said to you what?
that she wasn't waiving, they don't waive late fees, just go to court, is what she told me. And
So I have to.
absolutely, on the court.
So, but with that being said, what amount are you asking for? Do you have an amount that you're asking for?
Not really, because I just got the ledger. Like
You
yesterday.
just, correct me if I'm wrong.
Okay,
She is looking, really what she's saying, at least what I'm understanding is, I ask you to do certain things, you guys really aren't doing it, you're not paying attention to me. The only way I can get your attention is not paying. And so then when I finally get your attention, you want me to do that plus the late fees. So whatever late fees accumulated during that period, I'm trying to get your attention, I don't think I should pay, because all I'm really trying to do is get your attention. Is that just another way of saying it?
oh, great.
Yeah.
You go viral for this moment too. Perfect moment. Perfect.
Yeah, I'm just gonna be known as like the Ebony Hobbs Whisperer.
I swear.
All right, so that, and thank you for saying that, I guess, ma'am. All right, so with that in mind, I think council can look at it, maybe talk to Ms. Hobbs at some point in between and see if some resolution regarding that can come up. And then maybe we can just get this resolved so that Ms. Hobbs,
That's all I
Ms.
wanted.
Hobbs doesn't have to walk up here and
I do.
let me know that she walked uphill both ways.
I did.
All right.
Our phone number, our office phone number is on paperwork that you received under James Fink.
Okay.
If you want to call that, once you look at the ledger, if you want to call that, make any sort of offer, then I can present it to my client and I'll communicate with them about the mailbox issue.
That's fine.
Thank you.
Okay, June 14th, 2024 at
3 p.m.
3 p.m. Okay,
Awesome. Thank you.
all right. Have a nice walk back. I got, and I gotta say, you're better than me, because I would have stopped halfway and just said, I ain't. Not realizing that if I walked halfway back, I would have been here, but anyway.
My job is less than 5 miles away, so not bad.
5 miles?
I'm right off Highway, so it's not that far.
5 miles.
Yeah. This is nothing.
5 miles, walking 5 miles.
It's nothing.
Okay.
Have a good one.
You know what? If I had a job 5 miles away that I had to walk to, you know what they'd call me? Unemployed. We're across the case of Glencoe Oaks versus Angela Cater. Hello,
Hello,
what's your name?
Angela Cater.
Are you gonna yell at me?
I promise I won't.
Oh, okay, all right. I just have to kind of check after
No,
today.
sir.
All right. Let's see. She was gonna pay 2,400 on the 19th. Right? No, that was back in
That was back in April.
April.
Yes, sir.
That's right. All right, where are we? How much is owed?
So,
Oh, sorry, Your Honor. First, I don't think our office received a copy of the motion that was filed. I have that there's still $4,867.59 remaining on the judgment, and there is a total amount due at this point of $7,030.99.
All right, what do you want to say, Miss?
and I put 2,100 in escrow.
She is correct.
And so the remaining balance, I just was hoping I can get some time, due to my unforeseen medical condition with me having surgery and everything that put me back. So I go back to work Monday and I will be able to get my balance caught up, by June 28th at the latest. But with me going back to work Monday, I'm a nurse, so I can make my hours up
Got it.
and I can get my
Okay.
money.
Oh,
This-
so you just have to get the shifts in and do
Yes.
whatever, and I
Yes.
got you. So, so I've got the 2,100, so I'm at about a $5,000, a little under 5,000 range. They were at the 4, whatever. So let me ask you this, you go back to work
Monday, yes.
So when would the next time you could deposit funds?
I can actually make a deposit on Friday the 7th.
Okay.
I could
How
probably
much?
do $1,000 that day.
How much?
1,000.
1,000? Okay. On the 7th. Okay, so let's do this. And do you get paid every week or every other week?
Every week, because I have a part-time job. So my full-time job, I get paid one week, part-time job, I get paid the following.
She is smart. Okay, so if you pay the 1,000 on the 7th, is there an amount you could pay on the 14th?
Yes, it is.
How much?
2,000.
Go ahead, girl.
Listen, I got 3 kids. I gotta make money.
No, okay. So if you can get that 2,000, are you gonna pay it into the court? Is that what you want?
Whichever way you guys tell me to pay it, I'll pay it.
Why don't you pay it into the court? That
Okay.
way I know what's there.
Okay.
Okay, so pay the 1,000 on the 7th, 2,000 on the 14th. I'm going to adjourn this to April, listen to me. June. No, they wrote July, June 14th.
Okay.
2024 at 3. What time? 3 p.m.?
Okay.
Okay, so if you get that in there, then we have record of it. We'll know exactly where it is. And then if that happens, well, we got, you have the 7,030, but that doesn't include June rent. How much is your monthly rent?
$20.99.
$20.99. Okay. All right. So here's what I'm looking at. Let's do this for right now.
Okay.
She's back to work. It seems like, and she's got the other job and everything. So even if it looks to me like we can probably get this maybe resolved before the end of June, but if not, we're still going to be so close going into July that we can make it work.
Okay.
Is that fair enough?
Yes, sir.
Does that help you relax a little?
Yes, sir.
All right.
I was so dang on nervous. Then I saw your viral TikTok thing and I said, here we go. I got scared. Being honest.
I don't even have anything to say.
I'm
But-
dead for you. That was the dumbest he could have ever did in his life. But go ahead.
What now?
That was the dumbest move he could have ever made in his life.
I have no comment. All right.
Okay.
So we'll do it that way, get what effectively is 3,000 in before the 14th.
Yes, sir.
We'll come back, we'll figure out where we are number wise, and then we'll go from there.
Okay.
All right?
Perfect. Thank you.
Take care.
You too.
Have a
Thank
great
you.
weekend. Court does call the case Beal Properties versus Jennifer Hazel Baker Rollins. As well as Casey Fields.
Yes, I'm here, sir.
All right. And is Miss Rollinson?
Yes.
She
I'm
there? Okay, there you are. Okay.
All right.
And where are we on this case?
This is an non-payment of rent matter. At the last hearing, I was present for,
They were gonna-
I believe it was Plaintiff Jennifer Hazelbaker indicated that she was planning on getting everything paid off by May 30th.
Yes.
However, I have not, nor my client received any payment at this time.
All right, folks, you told me we were gonna have it paid off yesterday. What happened?
It's paid off.
Okay, when?
It may not have gone through till this morning.
Pardon?
They say it may not have gone through till this morning, but it's there.
Yeah.
Did you want me to pass it and contact your client, or how did you want me to do that? All right. Okay, you folks hold on. I'm gonna pass the case, and then council's gonna try to contact your client to make sure, okay?
Okay.
Okay.
All right, well, she does that. Is this her though? All right, great. Court recalls the case, Beal Properties versus Hazel Baker, Rollinson, and Field.
Hi.
Clerk Rivera, on behalf of plaintiff.
All right, haven't received confirmation, so here's what I'm gonna do, folks. I'm going to adjourn this to the 14th, June 14th, 2024 at 12 p.m. And if payment's been made, they'll dismiss the case. If not, then you guys need to be back here, okay?
Okay, can I ask, we're both teachers and that is our last day of school. So do we?
You're both teachers? What grades?
I am teaching middle school and high school, grades 7th through 10th. And Casey is working with those same grades.
7th? Really?
Yeah.
You guys don't want to be there on the last day. That's crazy, man.
I have to have my class down that
Hold
day.
Hold on, folks.
Paid in full, we can dismiss the matter.
All right, we got a confirmation.
Oh, great.
It's paid in full.
Wonderful.
So
Awesome.
Case is dismissed.
Okay, thank you so
I
much.
don't have a dismissal with me, but I'll submit one.
All right.
The office.
Great, thank you.
So the case is dismissed, and you guys are teachers, so I'll just say I come from a family of educators. Thank you for all you do. All right.
Thank you so much.
People don't thank you enough, but
Thank you.
sincerely from my heart, it's hard work.
Thank you.
All right.
Have a wonderful rest of your day and enjoy your weekend.
Yep.
All right. Take care, guys. Thank you. You do the same. Is that it?
I don't know what to say. I don't know what to do. I'm just here. I'm watching court with the rest of you. I'm literally doing this by the seat of my pants. I'm a viewer. I'm not a content creator. These are just the facts of the matter. All right. I know that a bunch of people came in at the front end of that Simpson docket. So welcome to the Colin Raid, those of you that are sticking around and are still here. We watched Clark a little bit earlier. We did yesterday's first appearances. If you newcomers would like, and you would like to see some Brantley Clark Jr. also, I will put that together for you on the fly. I have a Brantley Clark docket that I recorded from this morning, actually. Let me open this in a new window. Why did I do that in a new window? Why didn't I do it in a new tab? That's just stupid. You open in a new tab, right? That's what you do, is you open a new tab. But while we're getting that ready, oh yeah, that's me. And that's me too. Right there. Me and me. Both me's. Anyway, while we're getting all this set up, I know a lot of you missed the Corey Harris update. So what I have here is a recap of the video that I made earlier this week. Tied on to the end of it is it's a clipping, or not a clipping, it is the actual news story from a Detroit news program where they actually caught up with Corey Harris and talked to him. It's an interesting news story. So let's check that out for all you people who came in after I showed it and didn't get a chance to see it, because I think it's pretty funny and pretty cool. Here we go.
Michigan man finding himself in even bigger trouble this morning.
He was recently arrested after attending a Zoom hearing for driving with a suspended license while driving his car.
Court calls case People versus Corey Harris.
Conrad Siller on behalf of Pittsfield Township.
Assistant Public Defender Natalie Tate for Mr. Harris, who should be present via Zoom.
Mr. Harris, are you driving?
Actually, I'm pulling into my doctor's office, actually. So just give me 1 second. I'm parking right now.
Wait. You stationary?
I'm pulling in right now at this second. Yes, I am.
All right. What are we doing?
Your Honor, we are respectfully requesting an adjournment in this matter, up possibly 2 to 4 weeks if the court would allow.
Okay. So maybe I don't understand something. This is a driving while license suspended,
That is correct, Your Honor.
and he was just driving, and he didn't have a license.
Is with the charges, Your Honor, yes.
No, I'm looking at his
Yes.
record. He doesn't have a license. He's suspended and he's just driving.
That is correct, Your Honor.
Hello?
1 minute, Mr. Harris.
I don't even know why he would do that. So defendant's bond is revoked in this matter. Defendant is to turn himself into the Washington County Jail by 6 p.m. today. Failure to turn himself in will result in a bench warrant with no bond. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Harris, I'll be giving you a call.
Ann Arbor District Judge Cedric Simpson stunned by the actions of defendant Corey Harris and revoked his bond. This is today's edition of What Were You Thinking?
Oh, it's like it didn't even dawn on him.
Right.
He's like, oh yeah.
Suspended license. Oh, I shouldn't be driving while talking to the judge. Too late.
Too late.
Yeah.
Busted.
Oh, well.
Yeah.
Well, now to that viral video fallout after a man was seen driving during a virtual court hearing for driving on a suspended license. Today, Corey Harris talks about why he was behind the wheel, but he also says he should not have been charged in the first place.
And 7 News reporter Kimberly Craig talked to Harris and checked into that suspension.
After he was busted driving on a suspended license, Corey Harris had to report to the Washtenaw County Jail here. And today I asked him what everyone wants to know. What were you thinking?
What was I thinking? I was thinking about getting my wife medical help. That's what I was thinking.
Corey Harris said that's why he was behind the wheel earlier this month when he appeared before District Court Judge Cedric Simpson, who knew Harris was appearing on a charge of driving while license suspended.
Mr. Harris, are you driving?
Actually, I'm pulling into my doctor's office, actually. So just give me 1 second.
We spoke to Harris by phone today, and he said the doctor wanted to see his wife for some ongoing medical issues that had worsened, and he didn't think about anything but getting her there.
You stationary?
I'm pulling in right now at this second. Yes, I am.
Corey Harris was cited for driving while license suspended in Pittsfield Township back in October. He said it was suspended for unpaid child support. Secretary of State records show his license was first suspended for child support back in 2010. But Harris told us he thought his license had been reinstated.
They were supposed to have been lifted it 2 years ago, but they didn't.
And according to the Saginaw County court records we found, Harris is right. In January 2022, a judge rescinded that suspension on his license, but for some reason that information never got to the Secretary of State, where even as of today, his license is still listed as suspended, the same records the judge was going by.
This is a driving while license suspended,
That is correct, Your Honor.
and he was just driving. Failure to turn himself in will result in a bench warrant with no bond.
It's very embarrassing. And with the type of ties that I have with the church and the community, it's very embarrassing.
Thursday afternoon, Harris told us he was going to the Secretary of State's office to try to straighten out everything between them and friend of the court once and for all.
Always double check behind these workers, because they will say that they will do something and they don't do it.
In Ann Arbor, Kimberly Craig, 7 News, Detroit.
Well, let's hope he gets that straightened out. Thank you, Kim.
Well, there you have it. Interesting turn of events in the Corey Harris case, where there does seem to be some procedural errors. But as we were saying earlier, it doesn't take a lot. You know, you knew your driver's license was suspended and that you had to jump through hoops to get it unsuspended. You never received a letter in the mail notifying you that your license was reinstated, nor did you go to a DMV office and obtain a valid license and ensure that it was valid, right? So instead of blaming public workers who have a metric ton of paperwork to go through on a daily basis, why not handle your own business and make sure your own paperwork is in order and not depend on somebody else to do your work for you? That is the lesson of the day, ladies and gentlemen. That's my take on things. I'm gonna stick to it. And yes, sirree, that's just how it's gonna be. Now, we got us a little bit of Brantley Clark here. I'm gonna cue things up and make sure we have things the way they need to be. I think I got things. So what do y'all think? One more Brantley Clark. I think this is going to be 35 minutes. We get 35. Do we have 35 minutes left in our souls? You want to stick around for 35 minutes? Watch some Bay County first appearances. The last little bit. This is going to be the last hurrah. All right, here we go. Bay County first appearances. Judge Brantley Clark Jr. I present.
All right.
And that's all we have, Mr. Cordova.
Pardon?
I say that's all we have.
All right, that's all, sir. Thank you for your assistance.
Have a good day.
State your name, sir.
Cass.
Mr. Cass, you're before the court today for your first appearance. I'm going to appoint the Office of Public Defender to represent you at this hearing. You've been charged by one count of battery by strangulation. That's a third-degree felony, punishment to 5 years in the Florida Department of Corrections and a $5,000 fine. I reviewed the probable cause affidavit. I'm going to find there's probable cause for your arrest. Sir, where do you live?
I live here in Panama City, sir.
How long have you lived in Bay County?
So I just got out of the military 2022, and I came back down here at the beginning of almost 2023.
Are you working?
I'm doing I had a background check that's going down right now going in the process of to work at TSA for the airport.
Is there, do you have family in this area?
Yes, sir, I do.
What family?
My stepdad, which actually works here. My mother that is here as well. And then my dad and my stepmom are as well.
Is there a prior record on Mr. Cass?
He has a juvenile DUI, and that's it.
Mr. Cass, I'm gonna recommend you to the pretrial release program. That'll get you out of jail without having to put up a bond. You'll submit the random breathalyzers as directed by the court. Or the pretrial release program, you shall not possess or consume any alcoholic beverages. You're to have absolutely no contact with Alexis O'Daniel until further order of court. Your next court date is June 27th at 9 o'clock. Good luck.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Step over and sign that real quick.
Then I didn't sign. See if there's.
And for the record, the client Nichols didn't not check in.
He didn't get checked in time.
Step in on the red X for me.
Yes.
State your name.
Hi. No.
All right, ma'am, state your name.
Yes, sir. Paula Diane Wilson Flores.
Ms. Flores, you're before the court date for your first appearance. I'll appoint the Office of Public Defender to represent you. You've been charged with 1 count battery, domestic violence. That's a first-degree misdemeanor, punishment to 1 year in the county jail and a $1,000 fine. I reviewed the probable cause affidavit. I'm gonna find there's probable cause for your arrest. Ma'am, where do you live?
I live at 7030 Hill Road, sir.
Okay, and how long have you been in Bay County?
I've been in Bay County since 1991.
Are you employed?
Yes, sir. I do scrapping.
Okay, and is there a prior record on Miss Flores?
Yes, sir. 21 FTA VOP times 2. 20 another FTA and less than 20, 20 alternate banknote, petty theft, 19 trafficking amphetamines, 17 contempt, meth with intent, paraphernalia. It goes back to 05 locally.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, sir. I don't understand. Sir, I'm just trying to do my life right, and I'm trying to live right, and I'm trying to do the right thing, sir. All I was doing scrapping from my mom's yard, and I don't understand why my past. I've done the AWARE program. Can I talk about the good things I've done?
That's
please?
enough, ma'am. I'm gonna set a bond of $1,500. You'll be able to contact family and friends in order to make your bond. As a special condition of bond, you're to have absolutely no contact with Alpha Bowlware. Your next court date is June 5th at 8:30. Good luck.
Thank you.
Step to your step out. Mhm.
Right here.
Next. Red X, ma'am. Here you go. Face the TV and state your name.
Misty Peters.
Ms. Peters, you're before the court today for your first appearance.
Yes, sir.
Let's see, I'll appoint the Office of Public Defender to represent you. You've been charged with count of domestic violence battery. That's a first-degree misdemeanor, punishment to 1 year in the county jail. And I think it was domestic violence. Might have been just battery.
Battery.
Yeah, domestic violence battery, which is a first-degree misdemeanor, punishment to 1 year in the county jail and a $1,000 fine. I reviewed the probable cause affidavit. I'm gonna find there's probable cause for your arrest. Ma'am, where do you live?
3134 Amanda Circle, right down the road from here.
Okay, and how long have you lived in Bay County?
My entire life.
And are you working?
Yeah, I'm a stay-at-home mom. I'm a nanny. I stay home. I work at home.
Is there a prior record on Miss Peters?
She was battered on the same victim last year.
Not the same victim. His ex-wife. This is a him problem.
Is she on probation or anything like that?
No, sir.
Ms. Peters, I'm gonna recommend you to the pretrial release program. That'll get you out of jail and how to put up a bond. There's some standard conditions you'll have to abide by. The special conditions, you're to have absolutely no contact
Yes, sir.
with Brandon Sheffield. Your next court date will be June 5th at 8:30. Good luck.
Thank you so much.
Step to your right to the desk. Next. Step on the X, state your name.
Owning Clements.
Ms. Clements, you're before the court date for your first appearance. I'll appoint the Office of Public Defender to represent you. You've been charged been arrested and charged with one count of burglary of a dwelling. That's a second-degree felony. Punishment to 15 years in the Florida Department of Corrections and a $10,000 fine. Possession of drug paraphernalia, which is a first-degree misdemeanor, punishment for 1 year in the county jail and a $1,000 fine. Possession of a controlled substance, which is a third-degree felony, punishment to 5 years in the Florida Department of Corrections and a $5,000 fine. And possession of drug paraphernalia, another count, which is a first-degree misdemeanor, punishment to 1 year in the county jail and a $1,000 fine. Judge Van has reviewed the probable cause affidavits, and he has issued the warrants. You also have I believe, you're also being held on a $2,500 bond on a capias that Judge Van issued for a arrest warrant for possession of. Is that the same thing?
No, there's a PTI that got reopened on that one.
Oh, it's a PTI, so that's an old one. So you have a $2,500 bond on that. Ms. Clements, where do you live?
Right down the road.
Okay, and are you working?
No, actually, I need a job. I've
Okay.
been trying for a year now.
Is there a prior record on Ms. Clements?
23 controlled substance paraphernalia, 22 domestic petty theft, 21 another county, there was a FTA and a controlled substance, in 20 locally there's a trespass, and 18 it goes back to 11 to a domestic.
All right, based on your prior record and the nature of the charges, I'm gonna set a $15,000 bond on the burglary, $1,000 on the possession of paraphernalia, $5,000 on the possession of a controlled substance, and of course, Judge Van has set a $2,500 bond on the warrant. You'll be subject to random UAs as directed by the court. Your next court date on the felonies is June 27th at 9 o'clock. Your next court date on the misdemeanor is June 5th at 8:30. Good luck.
Hey, step here. Oh, you can step out. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I'm confused.
Next.
Hello.
Hello, on the X,
Where do I stare at?
the TV.
Okay.
Ma'am, state your name.
Emily Vittori.
Ms. Vittori, you're before the court today for your first appearance.
Yes, sir.
I am going to appoint the Office of Public Defender to represent you. You've been charged with one count of child abuse. That's a third-degree felony, punishment to 5 years in the Florida Department of Corrections and a $5,000 fine. I reviewed the probable cause affidavit. I'm gonna find there's probable cause for your arrest. Ma'am, where do you live?
Right here in Callaway,
How long have you lived in Bay County?
my whole life.
And is there a
sorry.
prior record?
She was just placed on probation April 1st.
Yes, sir. I pass my piss test every week. I've been doing really good since I've been on probation. I've been doing really, really good. And this is honestly, it's a miscommunication between me and my father. And I got somewhere else to go when I get out of here. I just need a bond, and I need to get home with my baby, sir. I need to finish my
Judge
probation.
registers
Oh, I'm
case.
sorry. Yeah, who's
Yeah,
this?
what's the case for all that?
24 459 CF.
I have full sole custody of my babies, and I need to go home and take care of them. This is a big misunderstanding between me and my father. Like, honestly,
What's
sir,
your-
like,
There was a controlled substance of domestic less than 20 in para on that case.
but I've been passing every one of my piss tests. I'm on probation, and I've been doing really good. I've been doing really good.
What I'm going to do is I'm going to set a $5,000 bond on the child abuse. You'll submit the random UAs as directed by the court. You'd have absolutely no contact with Carly Tingley.
That's my daughter.
Yes, ma'am, I understand that. I am going to issue a warrant for alleging you violate the terms and condition of your probation based on the new arrest. You'll be held without bond on that. The new court case, the new date on the felony will be, on the new charge will be June 27th at 9 o'clock. You'll be first appeared on your violation of probation warrant. Good luck to you.
So what does that mean?
You can, yes, ma'am. You can step out. It's live on the weekends. State your name, ma'am.
China Kappa.
Ms. Kappa, you're before the court today for your first appearance. You're not asking for the public defender, so if you want to appoint them, you've been charged with one count of principal to battery, felony battery, which I guess is a third-degree felony, 5 years in the Florida Department of Corrections and a $10,000 fine. I think it's more of an accessory after the fact, I believe, based on the probable cause. You've been arrested and charged with accessory to aggravated battery, and I believe that would be would that be a second degree? I mean, a first degree, I mean, a third degree felony, Mr. Van Dyke, Ms. Piazza?
As an accessory after the fact, Judge, I think that is a first degree misdemeanor.
Oh, but it's a second degree felony, so wouldn't that be a third degree felony? Wouldn't
Yes,
that be
sir,
third
it would
degree?
be a third. Yep.
And then on felony battery would be a first degree misdemeanor. So
Yes,
on the
sir.
accessory to the aggravated battery, that's a third degree felony. Punishment to 5 years in the Florida Department of Corrections and a $5,000 fine. On the accessory to felony battery, that's a first degree misdemeanor, punishment to 1 year in the county jail and a $1,000 fine. I reviewed the probable cause affidavit. I'm gonna find there's probable cause for your arrest. Ms. Kaplan, where do you live?
I live in town,
And how long
1924
you stay
Clark
down?
Court.
How
I've
long
lived
you
here
live-
about three years, sir.
Are you working?
Currently, no, I'm not.
Okay. Is there a prior record on Ms. Kaplan?
There's a domestic in 23 and then less than 20 and 22.
All right, Ms. Kaplan, I'm gonna recommend you to the pretrial release program. That'll get you out of jail, have to put up a bond.
Thank
You're
you,
to have
sir.
no contact with whoever the alleged victims are in the batteries, and you're to have no contact with Justin Brody. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Your next court date's June 27th at 9 o'clock. Good luck.
Thank you.
Step over to the desk. Next. Red X man, state your name.
Ms. Hans, you report in court date for your first appearance. So I don't believe I can appoint the Office of Public Defender based on your income. You've been charged with one count of felony petty theft prior. That's a third degree felony, punishment to 5 years in the Florida Department of Corrections and a $5,000 fine. Judge Campbell found there was probable cause for your arrest. Ms. Hans, where do you live?
I live in Panama City,
How long have you lived in Bay County?
about half of my life.
Okay, are you employed?
Yes, sir.
Where do you work?
I work for the Department of Corrections at the Keaton House, and I'm also a nurse.
Okay, and is there a prior record on Ms. Hans?
Nothing says 03.
Ms. Hans, I'm gonna recommend you to the pretrial release program. That'll get you out of jail without to put up a bond. There's some standard conditions you'll have to abide by. You're to have no contact with the Circle K.
Yes, sir.
And I think I've already told you, but your next court date is June 27th at 9 o'clock. Good luck.
Step to the desk over there. Next. Red X man, state your name.
Tanya Carroll.
Ms. Carroll, your court date's your first appearance. You're not asking for the public defender, so I want to point them. You've been charged with new charges of possession of a controlled substance, possession of paraphernalia, and resisting an officer without violence. You've also been arrested on 2 outstanding warrants alleging you violated the terms and conditions of your probation. I have found probable cause for your arrest based on the allegations contained in the probable cause affidavit. What I'm going to do on the new possession of a controlled substance, I'm going to set a $5,000 bond on that. 1,000 on the possession of drug paraphernalia, 1,000 on the resisting officer without violence. Judge Gay has issued 2 maybe just one more. So just one?
Yes, sir.
On the first appearance sheet, it has 2 violations of probation, but is there just one?
Judge, I only see one.
Okay, well, you're to be held without bond on that. Your next court date on your new charges is June 27th at 9 o'clock. On your VOPs is July 2nd at 9 o'clock. Good luck.
You can step out. Next. Red X, ma'am. State your name.
Charlie Andrews.
Ms. Andrews, you're before the court today for your first appearance. I'll appoint the Office of Public Defender to represent you. You've been arrested on a warrantless violation of probation.
Yes, sir.
Yes. All right, based on, and there's an allegation you violated terms and conditions of your probation. You on county probation?
Yes, yes, sir.
Okay. All right. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna hold you without bond on that. Your next court date is June 19th at 9 o'clock. Good luck.
Thank you.
All right, you can step out. Next. Red X, ma'am. State your name.
Cole White.
All right, ma'am, you're on Ms. White, you're before the court today for your first appearance. I'm gonna appoint the Office of Public Defender to represent you. You've been arrested on an outstanding warrant out of Gulf County. Judge Collier allegedly violated the terms and conditions of your probation. Judge Collier has ordered you be held on a $10,000 bond. I'm gonna leave that as it is. I don't know when your next court date is, whenever Gulf County comes and gets you. Good luck.
You can step out. You can bond out here. Mhm. Next. Red X, sir. Yes, sir. State your name.
Jesse Dunn. What do I look
Mr.
like?
Dunn, your first appearance, you're not asking for the public defender, so I want to point them. You've been arrested on a traffic misdemeanor, not a failure to arrest your motor vehicle. That's a second degree traffic misdemeanor, punishment to 60 days in the county jail and a $500 fine. You've also been arrested on outstanding violation of county probation. Judge Grammer set a $5,000 bond on that. I'm gonna leave that bond as it is. I'll set a $250 bond on the no vehicle registration. Your next court date on the new charge is June 5th at 8:30. On the violation of probation is June 19th at 1:30. Good luck.
Yes.
All right, can you step out? Next. Red X, sir. State your name.
Ready?
Mr. Craddy, you're before the court today for your first appearance. Was he here before me yesterday?
Yes,
I
sir.
was.
They brought a driver's license after the fact.
Okay, all right. What bonds did I set yesterday? Do we know?
Hold on.
Yesterday, there was a $5,000 bond, but I thought you said something about waiving.
What's the bond show? We got it, credit. 5,000.
Okay, all right. And I'll set a $500 bond on this. Your next court date on this charge is June 5th at 8:30. Good luck.
All right, you can step out. Out. Red X, state your name.
Timothy Paul Walters.
Walter, you're before the court today for your first appearance. I'll appoint the Office of Public Defender to represent you. You've been charged with one count of disorderly conduct. That's a second degree. Is that correct? It's punishable to 60 days in the county jail and a $500 fine. I reviewed the probable cause affidavit. I'm gonna find there's probable cause for your arrest. Mr. Walters, where do you live?
My residency's up in Indiana. I haven't been able to make it home, sir.
Okay. And what's the prior record on Mr. Walters?
2 pages since 20. He just got out because we had 520 and 525.
All right. Well, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna set a $500 bond, sir. Your next court date is June 5th at 8:30. You're to have no contact with, let's see, Mercury Express.
Yes, sir.
All right, you can step up.
Thank you.
Yeah, what's after court on the weekends? Next. Red X, sir. State your name.
Joshua Green.
Mr. Green, you're before the court date for your first appearance. You're not asking for the public defender, so I want to appoint them. You've been arrested, alleging you violated terms and conditions of your, conditional release. That'd be punishable up to 1 year in the county jail. Let's see. What's Mr. Green's record?
He was just reinstated yesterday in court to probation, and he's also out on a felony bond.
All right, I'm gonna hold him without bond on this case.
Can I
And
say
on the-
something to this, sir?
Yes, sir, you may.
On this one, for what I violated for, I was actually going to get my stuff, and a roommate of the victim.
Everything you're doing is being recorded.
Yes, sir. I mean, it's the truth of what happened.
What's the case number of the violation of probation?
The probation case is 24-2581 MM.
So, Clark, can I please say something? I'm the victim, I guess, in this.
You're the who?
I'm the victim in this.
Yes, ma'am, you may.
Okay. My roommate was handling Josh getting his things back. I was at my office. I worked for Joe Turner. Josh has left me alone since he was arrested on the felony case. And the violation of probation that went through yesterday was a misunderstanding.
Hold on, I can't understand you. I'm having a hard time understanding you.
Can you hear me better now?
Yes, ma'am.
Sorry, I'm on my way to Alabama, so I'm in the car. Okay, so the DO for the other charge was a misunderstanding. He wasn't on probation when he fought the new charges. He alone, since he got arrested, which is, May 13th.
I can't understand you.
Your Honor, I'm the prosecutor on Mr. Green's case. Mr. Green entered a plea after the charges, after the new charges, the burglary was charged. So he wasn't technically on probation at that time. That's what she's trying to say.
But the allegation that he violated his release last night.
This new one that this violates the probation you got put on earlier yesterday.
Okay.
And that was misdemeanor probation?
Yes, sir. The bond was the felony that he's talking about. The bond is still open.
Okay. All right.
And I never had contact with her.
I tell you what I'm gonna do. Is this the alleged victim
That is the victim.
And you're saying you weren't at home?
No, sir, I was at work.
With her roommate.
Okay. All right. Well, it says 500 feet from the residence. I tell you what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna set a bond of $500. That's the best I can do this morning. I won't revoke anything else. Your next court date is June 5th at 9 o'clock. Maybe you can, or 8:30. Excuse me. You can figure out everything then.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right, you step out.
I don't need to say anything.
Next. What's your name, sir?
Mr. I'm the year before the court date for your first appearance. I'll appoint also public defender to represent one count of petty theft. Subsequent offense makes it a third-degree felony, punishment to 5 years in Florida Department of Corrections and a $5,000 fine. I reviewed the probable cause affidavit. I'm finding there's probable cause for your arrest. Sir, excuse me, where do you live?
In the woods.
Okay. And what's the prior record on Mr. Ongley?
He had FTA at a petty theft back in December, petty theft in March, FTA on that, FTA in February. 17 was a less than 20, 16 another petty theft.
All right, I'm gonna set a $1,500 bond. Your next court date is June 27th at 9 o'clock.
All right, you can step out.
Can I get a personal tournament fine?
It's not based on your faith to appears and your current and your living situation. I'm bound to set a bond. I wished I could release you, but I can't.
No, June 27th.
June 27th at 9 o'clock is your next court date. Good luck.
Here you go. State your name.
Thomas Breeden. Mr. Breeden, report for your first appearance. You've been charged with one count of written threats. I believe that's a third-degree felony, punishable to 5 years in the Florida Department of Corrections and a $5,000 fine. I reviewed the probable cause affidavit. I'm gonna find there's probable cause for your arrest. You're not asking for the public defender, so I want to appoint them. Mr. Breeden, where do you live?
I live in Parker, Florida.
How long? And see, how long have you lived in Bay County?
All my life.
All right. And what's the prior record on Mr. Breeden?
I don't show any new charges since 8, which was fraudulent use of a credit card, but his last martial hold was in 16.
According to the probable cause affidavit, he was just released from federal prison after a 10-year sentence. Based on the nature of the charges, I am going to set a $15,000 bond. You're to have absolutely no contact with Troy Turner. While released, your next court date is June 27th at 9 o'clock. Good luck.
Yes, sir. I had no idea. I had no idea that Mr. Turner was involved with the reason I was arrested. And the DEA informed me of that upon arresting me. They said, you know, you can't be contacting him because he was an informant in your case. And I had no idea. I had no idea he was an informant in my case. But
okay.
Here we are, you know,
All right, all I can do is set a bond, sir. You have to take that up and when you the charges are charged.
How much is my bond?
15,000.
Next. Reddick, sir. I'm sorry, Mr. Norton declined to make your acquaintance today.
All right, well, let's go ahead and just set him a bond. I reviewed the probable cause affidavit. I'm gonna appoint the Office of Public Defender to represent him on the felony petty theft. I'm gonna set a $5,000 bond on each of those. I'm gonna set a $10,000 on the dealing in stolen property. And I believe it was Judge Grammer has set a $5,000 bond on the violation of probation. On the new felonies, his next court date is June 27th at 9 o'clock. On the violation of county probation, his next court date is June 19th at 8:30.
Yes, sir. State your name, sir.
Jeffrey Clarence Button.
Mr. Burke, before the court date for your first appearance, appoint the Office of Public Defender to represent you. You've been charged with aggravated battery with a deadly weapon. That's a second-degree felony, punishment 5 years in the Florida Department of Corrections and a $5,000 fine. I reviewed the probable cause affidavit. I'm gonna find there's probable cause for your arrest. Sir, where do you live?
6717 East Fifth Court. Where this occurred, sir.
All right. How long have you lived in Bay County?
25 years.
Are you employed?
Yes, sir.
Where do you work?
I work for the city of Callaway.
Okay.
Sir, I was just trying to get squatters in my yard. I didn't hit nobody with I didn't do nothing. I didn't do one thing to anybody. I'm 60 years old.
Is there a prior record on Mr. Burke?
Some felony bond for a grand theft that happened in February.
Okay. What case number is that?
24673. CF.
All right, what I'm gonna do is I am going to set a $10,000 bond on the new aggravated battery. He's to have absolutely no contact with the alleged victim in the case. On case number 24 CF 673, I'm gonna revoke his release on that, hold him without bond. His next court date right now is June 27th at 9 o'clock. Good luck to you, sir.
Let me step out, sir. Mr. Lane, decided he wasn't coming on, so this is of their own volitions.
Okay, yeah, I am going to, he's, my warrant on hold him without bond. His next court date is June 19th at 9 o'clock.
Me,
State your name, sir.
Lane Neal, sir.
All right, Mr. McNeil, I'm gonna appoint the Office of Public Defender. It's time to issue your first appearance. You've been arrested on an outstanding warrant alleging you violated the terms and conditions of your county probation. Judge Grammer's ordered you be held on a $10,000 bond. I'm gonna leave that as it is. Your next court date is June 19th at 8:30. Good luck.
I haven't been in custody the whole time. That's why I didn't go to court. I just got called from prison to back here for that misdemeanor. I never got out of custody to go to probation.
Yes, sir. But he signed the warrant, so you're gonna have to talk with Judge Grammer about that.
When do I have court, sir?
June 19th.
June 19th, but you're gonna get a copy of it. All right, you step out. Next. Red X, sir. You state your name.
Mr. Carney, you're before the court today for your first appearance. I'm going to appoint the Office of Public Defender to represent you. You've been arrested on an outstanding warrant alleging you violated the terms and conditions of your probation. Judge Gay has ordered you be held without bond. I'm gonna leave that as it is. Your next court date is July 2nd at 9 o'clock. Good luck.
July 2nd?
Yeah, you're gonna get copies. You can step out. Next. Red X, sir. State your name.
Mr. Brooks, you're before the court today for your first appearance. Do you wish to have the public defender appointed to represent you?
I have no one here.
He's asking,
Would you
do you
like
have
to
the
have the
public
public defender appointed?
Sir, yes, sir.
I'm gonna appoint the Office of Public Defender to represent you. You've been arrested on an outstanding warrant alleging you violated the terms and conditions of your probation. Judge Gay has ordered you be held without bond. I'm gonna leave that as it is. Your next court date is July 2nd at 9 o'clock. Good luck.
We'll step out. Next. Red X, sir. State your name.
Casey Hayes.
All right, Mr. Nix, you're before the court today on your first appearance. You've been arrested and on a warrantless violation of, I believe that's county probation. Is that correct?
Say what?
He's asking was the county probation.
Oh, yes, sir, yes, sir.
It's county probation. And I am going to hold you without bond on that. Your next court date is June 19th at 9 o'clock.
That's all we have for today.
I certainly appreciate everybody's help. Y'all have a good day.
You too, sir.
Deputy Dexter.
And as the good judge said, I believe that's all we have for today. Ladies and gentlemen, I am your lone wolf Usul. I've been your host for this episode of the Court Gallery Live. We do this little thing every Saturday at 11 a.m. Central Standard Time. It's basically where I just pick out a bunch of court cases. We all get together and we watch them together, and sometimes we comment on them, sometimes we just have fun in the comments, and sometimes we just have fun. But either way, it's Saturday for most of us, and if it's not Saturday for you right now, may it be Saturday for you before long, as long as Saturday's not like a work day for you or something. Whatever your weekend is, get to that, right? So I'm not really looking at chat too much right this second, but I am going to go ahead and say thank you to everybody for showing up. I love you all, and I really appreciate your participation in the chat and in the show and what we're doing here. I hope to see everybody in Colin's chat and and elsewhere all week during the week. I hope everybody has a good week. Don't forget to love those that you are, hug the people that you love, and love the people that you hug. Goes both ways, right? Yeah. Any case, there's always this. And this is me signing off the show and saying have a great day, and may you have the day you deserve. I'm your lone Wafusel. See you next time. Peace out.